It's strange what desire can make foolish people do. Boy, isn't that the truth? How many decisions have we made off desire? Because it feels so good, especially in regards to love. Oh my gosh, too many. Love is not an emotion. Love is not an emotion. We got to remember this. People get that really confused. We guys have a problem. We see a beautiful woman and we get dumb. We get absolutely stupid over it. We act stupid. We see a beautiful woman and we lose our mind. How many times have we made a decision to be involved with somebody because she was so hot? And it turned out to be not. It's time for me to say something. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but this is my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow and I'll admit it. But Trump had better wrap this bull crap up in the Middle East and get out. Because I kind of see us entering a PONR, point of no return. This has kicked off a powder keg of problems. Tankers are now being hit, wasting crude. Tanker captains are refusing to sail up there. And can you blame them? They don't want to take a ship up there and risk injury. And these dang warfares change with these stupid drones. I think Trump has barked up a tree, and he's about to get treed himself on this. We have to admit, folks, that leaders make mistakes, even ones we voted for, and he could have gotten us into a deep pile of poo. I believe Iran is terrible, but we need to admit it. I'm not going to be like the Democrats. Democrats never admit they're wrong. But Trump could have pulled a bad one on this one. He could have lacked judgment. Good evening, everybody. How long is this war going to go on? How long? Iran is continually shooting stuff off. We're supposed to be intelligent. We're supposed to have the greatest military in the world, and we can't stop this stuff? That doesn't make any sense. Iran's got these drones, and they're firing away at the tankers and stuff. Yikes. Sounds like they got a one-up on us. And the bad thing about that is affecting the globe. And I agree, Mike. I agree. I mean, Iran is a problem. You want my honest opinion, we should have went in there and dealt with them a long time ago and ended the foolishness, but yeah. What now? What now? This cannot go on and on and on. The cost is ridiculous. The oil, I mean, I saw today the gas went up a good, what, 75, no, almost $1 here a gallon. Hey, Lisa Lise. Hello, Ricky. How are you? I just found a new version of Wicked Game that is just unbelievable by a young lady. I just did a video short of it. It is phenomenal. Chris Isaac did a good job with the song, but this woman has just supersized it. It's amazing. Some people can take a great song with their voice, really flesh it out in a way that grabs you. Y'all want to check out my short so you can hear that. That singer is phenomenal. I try to find music in the shorts. I try to keep it interesting. And Lisa, thanks for the compliment. I needed that. But that line in the song, it's strange what desire will make foolish people do. Isn't that the truth? Every single one of us has got a story about desire and how it got us into trouble, wrong decisions. All right, chat tied up, or what happened? But I think that Trump has got to watch a step. I'm not one of these people that says, oh yeah, everything he does is right. We're just going to get behind him. This has set off a problem. And I don't think anybody thought of the reach of this. They seldom do. I thought when we got rid of Ayatollah and those 40 other men that would end it. Oh no. This new Ayatollah is hiding somewhere saying, we're going to rage hell on the Straits of Hormuz. That's not good. That's not good at all. I don't know what's going on with the stream, but see, we're down to 4 bars today. What is going on with the internet world? Strange what desire makes foolish people do. Oh, I never fall in love with you. Good music. All right, let's see if we can move this thing and get it figured out. Got a lot done today. I actually was productive, and I'm glad for that. There we go. Let's get that internet bar back up. The heck is going on? Mowed my yard today. See my nice lines? Look at that. And I do that with a walk behind. Raked up all the crap and the sticks that fell all winter back there and cleaned it up. There we go. Hi, Chris. Now the chat's working. Clean it all up underneath here. The neighbor's cats like to hang out back here, and I like to keep it clean. Look at that. Something's digging. The birds must be digging for worms. All that grass holds moisture in. Looks much better. Hey, American girl, how are you? Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to paint the back of that. I was going to do it today. But instead, I finished one more panel on this back room that was gray. I finished that today, and I did a second coat of paint on the front of the house. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. We got weather alerts on Monday. I don't know what the heck's going on, but I finished the whole side here. I love that. That's almost a caboose red, and I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that color. It's so rich. Tell you, this grass has been very different. Helene, 2 years ago, look at this. I just mowed this today, and these dang dandelions already coming up. They don't waste no time. But Helene blew in so much stuff that it seeded my yard with all kinds of foreign crap. Crazy. Did some raking and cleaning. This is a mess. I gotta figure out how to straighten that out. Any of you women got any ideas? I don't know if I can cut some of these out because they're all bunched up in here and I don't like it. They're gonna end up pushing on each other, and they already are. This is what you call a tight-knit family going on. I cannot believe this. I replanted that one, and this dang thing has given birth to all of these. Nice little spider web in there. Look at that. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Derek, how are you? Man, it's nice out here today. I got to get a new burn barrel. I turned this thing over and it's rotting through. I've used it so many times, the fire's starting to eat through it. No, I like to take care of the place. It shows pride. Gives me something to, gives me something to keep me busy. Thank you, I like it. Most of this is weeds. I hate it when people leave a voicemail. It screws with the stream. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Testing, testing. Okay, good, good. Good. All right, thank you. I got the phone turned on silent, which is good. But it rings, and when it goes to voicemail, it freezes up the thing. So that being said, Apple's not as good as they claim. It cannot do two things at once without interfering. You guys are going to laugh. I got to show you something. I only got two things at the flea market today. And you got to see this. You guys are going to laugh. This is funny. I'm still trying to get a girlfriend. But that didn't happen. But meanwhile, somebody got a boyfriend. And she's very happy. Very, very, very happy. Look at this. Oh, she's happy. Now she has somebody. She won't be bothering me all the time. Yes, Derek, I got to. It's all I've got. I mean, I have God, but it's nice to... Hey, Angel, baby, how are you? Look it. I had to... This lady told me, I was telling her I was looking for trolls. This one head has quite a range of motion. That's funny. Now we got... Now girl's got a boyfriend. Miss Delight, how are you? I'm fine, thanks, trolls. Hey, everybody needs somebody to love them. Look at that. They were made for each other. Yes. And this sweet black woman, oh my gosh, she saw me, got all excited, started running up to me. You're going to ask what that is. She used a lot of yarn on this. She made this as a rug. She made it last night. I said, how much? She said, $10. I said, I'll buy it, but I'm not going to use it as a rug. She just did all these loops. Man, she must have went through a ton of yarn. But I just liked it. It's unique. That's cool, Angel. And Ken and Barbie making out. I bought it from her because she came around me and I looked at her. I said, you knew I was going to buy that, don't you? She goes, yes. I said, when did you make it? She goes, last night. I said, I wasn't here last weekend. She goes, I know. I said, I should have been here last Saturday. After what happened, I didn't tell anybody. I don't even want to talk about it. But this is cool. It's cool. I got to tie that off so it doesn't come loose. But this is fun. Something unique. She made it as a rug. I ain't gonna step on that. It'd just get ruined. Hey, fallen angel, how are you? Welcome from down under. Just call me angel in the morning, baby. Just kiss my cheek before you leave me, darling. Hey, Josie, how are you? I'm all right. I always feel good when I'm productive. I tell you what, it's what I'm made for. When I'm not productive, I feel crappy. Chrysler, trolls don't have a marriage. But neither one of them are gay. Neither one of them. They're both hetero. She's like, Mike, thank you so much. You finally did something for me. You did something. I gave you a free house. Now you got a friend. That's funny. Truth Seeker, Miss Delight, D. Michelle. How are you? Trolls can't sin. They're inanimate objects, man. They're exempt. Hello, Carol. Hey, Octavia. Yeah, I've been married a few times. Sheesh. We're not going to go there. She had a bunch of teeny little ones, but I didn't want those. I want the bigger ones. But she's on the lookout for me, my flea market lady friend. Yes, she is, Miss Delight. You good too. Every time D. Michelle come in the room, she always got that beautiful smile. I just love yacht. Oh, love you. I was like, I think everybody loves a yacht. I want a yacht. I want to live on it. But I was trying to kick a conversation into play and see what people think. And I don't want to get everybody politically upset. But Michael is starting to come away with the view that we might be doing a lot of damage to ourselves and everybody else by continuing with this Iran thing. I think we need to pull out. Do they even make hair curlers anymore? Oh, that'd be cool, Derek. Ours are small. I know, I finally, when you said love ya, Mike, I was like, okay, that's what she meant, love yacht. Nobody likes it. But my question is, how long should Trump keep going with this? The Iranians are screwing with the ships. They're hitting tankers, cargo ships. Captains are saying, we're not going through. Can you blame them? I mean, it's guaranteed death. These drones, that has changed warfare. Can you imagine if these gangsters got a hold of drones or some average citizen in the U.S. to where they could do harm? That's a scary thought. And that's right. Yeah, Carol, I messaged a friend I haven't spoken to in a while because we used to message through Facebook. She lives in Virginia. And she and her boyfriend voted for Trump. But she said, I think Trump opened up Pandora's box. And I said, I'm starting to feel that too. You look at the fact that, and I'm going to say it again, the Islam mind. We talk about a cult. We talk about wrong thinking. And I talk about the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, anybody who gets a cult-like mind that believes everybody else is wrong and they're right. You can't get through that. And the Middle Eastern mind is radically different than a Western mindset. He got rid of one Ayatollah and 40 of his henchmen. New Ayatollah comes in and he is hiding somewhere and telling them to shoot at Hamas ships. So he's not backing down. These people aren't going to back down. They're going to keep throwing all they got at it. Oh no, Carol, I'm not doubting our choice in Trump. Kamala was terrible. But just because we get behind a leader doesn't mean that everything they do is infallible. I don't know if we made the right decision playing around with Iran. Iran is a doo-doo head nation, no doubt about it. But I'm going to say this from a biblical standpoint. Ezekiel 38:39 talk about the last, the invasion of Russia, otherwise known as Gog and Magog, Togarma, which is Turkey. It mentions Persia, which is Iran. Persia is the old word for what is Iran, are going to come against Israel. So I believe we should have taken out their regime. But they breed like rabbits. And these people over there all have that same mentality. Not all the citizens, but these leaders. How far do we have to go to put a stop to this? And remember, you got Russia and China, which have been supplying these clowns with ammunition for years. You're right, Truth Seeker. It's not. I mean, we got in it. You bought the farm. Now you got to figure out how to extricate yourself. Really, Octavia. Hello, Stereo. Just call me Angel in the morning, baby. Angel, did you hear me? I was singing your song. Hi, Mary. But isn't he the one that was calling for strikes? So who's doing all that? Now, what caused that? Oh, thank you for the flowers. So he's not leading. It's a puppet regime hiding behind a cardboard puppeteer. What a bunch of malarkey. Oh, so he was injured in that. Oh, the Biden presidency, what a legacy that was. Somebody pass me the barf bag, please. Got you, Angel. Hello. Emperor, how are you? Revival, how are you doing? I got you, Angel. I figured it out. Pass you a diaper instead. Okay, that'd be awesome. Yeah, welcome to your leader. Here's your box of Pampers, high chair, and your binky. I'm all right, Revival. Hey, cat. Shoot. It's really embarrassing. 4 years of that crap. And now, the President of the United States. Oh my gosh. And in come the Huggy commercials. That was shameful of the Democrats to put that out there. That was their best runner. You think if AOC ran, she'd win? Or Ilhan Omar? Hey, they voted in a dang Muslim in New York. Can you imagine if Ilhan Omar became president of the United States? You better start packing, folks. You better hope the Philippines takes us. Yeah, wasn't that bad? Carol's ridiculous. I don't either, but you never know. Do y'all think that last election before this one was rigged? Because I heard stories they were throwing out ballots and all that. Hey, Carol! Auto pen and I ran. I have an apple. I have a pen. Apple pen. No, it doesn't. Did he really do that? Now that's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I have an apple. I have a pen. Auto pen. Rigged. Man, I'd be tempted to use his as a dartboard myself. First Lady, would you like to play a round of darts? Oh, surely. Where's the dartboard? Aim for Biden. Miss Delight, what's going on in your world? Yeah, ice cream with a bib. Bibkin Robbins. What do you do for a living, Miss Delight? D. Michelle. I have to train myself. I like D. Michelle. Oh, really? What age? Apparently his son criticized. Now, I'm not a fan of Jesse Jackson. I'm going to say it right now. I have no respect for that man. But there were 3 presidents spoke at the funeral, and the son got up and said they were all idiots. Preschool? Oh, that's cool. You work with kids. You can show them the light of God. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Emperor. I don't watch mainstream news either. I just catch the YouTube feeds. Nothing but political theater. Theater, you say? Of course, politics is always about theater. It's nothing but acting and showmanship and nothing but a dog and pony show. And that's right, Smithers. Everybody got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Oh, but surely that goes on every day. That's how they get their wealth. Didn't you know? Maybe I'm sick. I don't know. I like Trump. I don't think he's perfect, but I sure think he's better than the clowns on the left. You know, when you're a leader, you have to make decisions. And you're going to make decisions that not everybody's going to approve of. If I was in that position, no matter what I do, there's going to be people criticizing me. No matter what I do. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. In all fairness. I just hope that we haven't stepped in a pile of poo with Iran. They're not bending real easy. They're not folding their cards at all. Hello, Alig. How are you? Oh, yeah, and you know why? Because the Democrats are dirty. Dirty. What I like is our channel's calmed down. I used to get so many trolls, but this channel does pretty good now. We've got so many trolls blocked, I don't know how many are left. That, and they see the camaraderie in here. It's kind of a good deterrent to the trolls. Yeah, Angel, that part concerns me. Christians do it. We got to stop pedestalizing people. Don't pedestalize me. Don't pedestalize Trump. Don't pedestalize your preacher. There's only one we're supposed to exalt, and it's the Lord. That's it. Yes, we do. Hello, Zach. No, look, Zach. My girl got a boyfriend today. She's so happy. Look at that. Look at her smiling. She's over here having a conversation. So what do you do for a living, troll? Oh, me too. We're in the same business. Well, hurry back. The Lord hates me. No, that's not true. It doesn't say that in John 3:16, does it? It doesn't say the Lord hates you. Yeah, that's true. He's nude. I just realized that. Typical guy just shows up with nothing. Trolls are fun. The afterglow. Yes, Chrysler. Yes. Hey, Molly. Do I believe in God? Yeah, the Lord Jesus Christ. I do not believe in Allah. Allah does not exist. You started what today? Oh, Romans. Yeah, I've read the whole Bible through. And I read a little bit every day. Yes, most of us are believers here, Ollie. Yeah, I'm worried about the midterms, gas prices rising. You know, we didn't get a break in the cost of food and stuff like we thought we were. I'm not blaming Trump for that, but people vote by their pocketbooks. And we better get this war under control and get that gas price down because that's going to be a hard sell there in midterms. Yeah, the store's ridiculous. That's right, Angel. And it's these employers aren't even giving a cost of living adjustment commensurate with the cost of living increases. Truth Seeker, what state are you in again? That's what I'm worried about, Stereo. That's what I'm concerned about. That one right there. Oh, Ohio. We got a lot of good people in here from Ohio. Oh, you're in New Hampshire. That's awesome. I have not been to New England. I've been all over the US, but I've not been up to New England. That was a bucket list. Crappy and political state with DeWine. Hey, Summer, you came to my mind today. I thought, I wonder where she's been. Wisconsin. I used to live in Duluth, Minnesota, Molly. Hello, Leg, and welcome from the UK. Oh, I wish I could. I've always wanted to see New Hampshire. I'd like to see Lake Champlain. There are 3 warships in there, wooden sailing ships that go back in near preserved condition. Summer sausage? What's summer sausage? Bratwurst? Emperor, I'm in Georgia. Where you going, Angel? Yeah, it gets hot here in the summer. Hot, wet, and sweaty. When I get off work, I'll be peeling my wet clothes off. Summer sausage. Really? What did he call you that for, Summer? Angel. Not applicable. I was saying it seems like we've kicked over Pandora's box. And I believe we needed to do something about Iran, but how long are we going to have to go at this? They're shooting missiles through drones at ships, and they're not backing down. Yeah, spring has sprung down here, but it does come early. Hey, Colette, how are you? Yeah, Lig, I just thought when they take out Ayatollah and 40 of his clowns, that would put things at bay, but they've got some dedicated people still lobbing weapons around. Yeah, but what good is that going to do? Is there any advantage to doing that? Your husband is French Canadian. Wow, that's cool. Do you live in Quebec? Colette, don't leave. You have to stay. You've been kidnapped by the chat king. Really not sure. I think that you're a day late and a dollar short. If you can't tell looking at me and by my voice that I'm a man, I don't know what to tell you, budster. Sheesh. Wouldn't you like to be my neighbor? Shoot, I got decent neighbors on either side of me. My one neighbor saw me on the ladder. I didn't even know he was sitting on his back porch. Hey, how you doing? You need a taller ladder? I said, no, I'm good. I'm just painting this last panel. GTFO! And that's not Grand Theft Auto, kiddo. That's right, Lig. I listened to a lady today. I typed into YouTube while I was shaving. You ladies are going to laugh. I shaved all my legs and my arms. I shaved my arms at the sink and I got a strainer in there. You would not believe all the hair. And I'm thinking, man, ladies got to go through this, shaving the legs and the arms and all the hair. That is a job. Oh, my legs are nice and smooth, ladies. Man, if I rub up against a lady with my smooth legs, I might have a problem. Wouldn't that be cool, truth? People get all bent out of shape over a shirt. Look at what's going on in the world, really. I like the feel of women's clothes. There's a rebel in me. And when people put all this taboo on something, and I'm like, okay, what's the big ruckus about? Let me find out. This is comfortable. This feels good. It's warm today. This is very comfortable. It's not constricting. I think I got this at Walmart. It was on clearance for $1. $1. They never have a men's shirt on clearance for $1. Yeah, that's expensive. Ladies, hide your husbands. I don't want no husbands coming after me. You know, I posted in the post the picture of, now that guy you saw me with, that's a cross-dresser. He's almost 70, and he sells his art at the flea market. He's got some eclectic stuff. But we get along. And I always say, can I take my picture with you? And he leans in real close. They had a version of the Chain Gang by the Pretenders. It was different. I looked on YouTube. I cannot find it. I said, dude, I said, I know the Pretenders did it, but this is a different version. He goes, oh, I got a bunch of CDs of stuff. And I said, oh, I wish I could find out what this is. I love this rendition. Oh, man, it was beautiful. So I was dancing. I had my, the orange and white dress. And this couple come in, there's two ladies come in, and she started smiling and dancing. She goes, I love seeing that. I said, yeah, sometimes I can't help it. I hear a good song, I got to move. Do we call the trolls? Molly, I'm glad for that. Rosa, how are you? Emperor, guys have hit on me. It doesn't work. A dude can't give me what a woman can. They just can't. I'm all right, Rosa. I haven't seen you in a minute. If you like pina colada and getting caught in the rain. You're all right, Emperor. I didn't take it as mean. In 1995, is that the one? It's really beautiful. There are renditions of songs when you hear the other versions, they're even better than the original. You have to watch my short. I titled it Wicked Dance, and it's Wicked Game. Chris Isaac did it. But there's a lady who does it on this one. I found it tonight. I'm like, oh, wow. That woman's got a voice that don't quit. I like that. I like that. Some people have a knack. The way they sing, the way they draw something out, it really grabs you. And I like that. What's a Monchichi doll? I look like that guy in the Hong Kong movie Duck Talk. What was his name? Cuttlefish was his nickname. The Chinese guy, the hair straight down like a bull. He was such a goofball. You know what? You know what? We had good music, Carol. Sir Stud Muffin. Why do you have an ID called Sir Stud Muffin? Do you got a high opinion of yourself? You're asking lots of questions. A midlife crisis, you don't have them. I'm 60, bro. I turned 60 2 Mondays ago. No, I went through that in my 40s when I was in Hong Kong. Had a big medallion around my chest, no shirt on. And I was definitely feeling a midlife crisis. Oh, Wicked Game is awesome. I like REM. There's a group called The Church, Under the Milky Way. Oh, man. Some of those bands just had a unique way about them. He lives in Mom's basement. I wouldn't doubt it. Are you a Reddit mod? Reddit. Oh boy. Carol, you come up with some good stuff, man. Hey, Coop DeVille, how are you? No, Carol, I didn't. I did not. I got busy doing stuff today. Look, Carol, I don't know if it's still light out. I'm going to show you my yard. I mowed it. I raked it. I did some painting on the house. I thought I'd get a fire under my butt. Oh, it's starting to get dark out here. Oh, I always tell myself, do not leave the keys in the house and lock your butt out. Because you'll be standing out there for a long time before you get a locksmith at this hour. Fall asleep on my own doorstep. Wouldn't that be fun? I found a picture of you. Oh, look at that. Mowed my yard. Oh, it's beautiful out here. You're going to laugh at me, but one of these days I want to have a yard that's so private I can go out there naked if I want to. It's just nothing feels good in Georgia air being naked at night. And no, I'm not a streaker or a weirdo. I'm just in touch with my body. It's nice. I raked all under here today. Garbage canned all up. All the cats in the neighborhood like to sit back here for some reason, so I cleaned it up for them. There's a calico and a yellow one and a black one that hang out back here. Welcome to Catville. You know what? It's mostly weeds, but I mow it, and it looks good. This thing's going to start going like wildfire. Now that we got wet weather coming. Spring came early this year. I don't normally mow until April or May. I mowed last weekend and today. These were deep lots in the 50s. Man, you live in Denver, you don't have a backyard this big. Not in old Denver. In fact, most places, when you're in a town or the city, you don't have a big, deep lot like this. No, I love my yard. You could have a volleyball net back here. Hi, Sarah. Colette, that's probably not a bad idea. Give you guys some perspective. The sun sets in the west. And no, that's not the moon. The neighbor on the other side of my neighbor has a street light in her yard. But the sun is setting in the west. You know what, Sir Stud Muffy, you're so stupid. Bye. Belly Lynn. You're an idiot. You're out. You're so stupid. Hey, Jacques, welcome from South Africa. Sarah, thank you for that. Well, you can go find some belly lint under your couch, partner. I'm done with you. Under the moon, baby. No, that's the house next door. I didn't continue my fence all the way. When I bought the house, this fence was all tore up. Not this one, but I built that. And I did something different. Most people do it like that. They jam the pickets together, but I decided because of Helene, I decided to have some gaps so when we have another hurricane, the wind can blow through and not blow it down. Plus, it just looks nice. I mean, it takes away some of the privacy. But my neighbor actually likes it because it says you're being a friendly neighbor when it's not all. I'm not going to be out here streaking in my yard, so. I didn't do it here because there's a chain link and it runs through those trees. And when I was messing around last year, tearing out the old fence and de-stumping my yard, there's sumac, big vines about that big around, and you can't see it. The hell is all, look at that. You see that? That's one of them dang slingshots all lit up. Um, I got sumac, and it was crazy. Don, that'd be awesome. Carol, you're awesome. Your put downs are beautiful. It is a beautiful evening. A lot of crabgrass. No, that's a garage with busted out windows. That was a rental, and people who live there just trashed the property. Got a white couple in there now. They've been here for a couple of years, and I get along with them real well. They actually mow their yard and take care of things. I wanted to buy that property. That place sold 2 months before I bought mine for $13,000. And I saw it for sale when I was in Florida. I should have bought that dang thing. I would have knocked it down and increased my yard. And I would have redid that garage and parked my truck in it. That would have been awesome. Whoa, almost threw the door open. Bam. Thank you, Stereo. No, I haven't, Chrysler. That wasn't a truck. That was a Slingshot. They're those low squat. They got 2 wheels in the front and a wheel in the back. They're weird. The whole thing lights up and they play that shitey music. It's the first time I've seen one of those go through the neighborhood. They're kind of worthless. They're a good weather vehicle only. That's it. They're not cheap. They're loud. They'll go downtown Augusta. And the whole thing, the lights move to the beat of the music and change color and everything. A Slingshot would be fun, but they're not practical because you got bad weather, it's got to be in a garage. I mean, if it never rained here, I'd buy one of those and go to work. Absolutely, Truth. What I wanted to do is put a Chinese pagoda back there. I want somebody to design the eaves that go up like Asia and have all the screen around it and have the tiki torches and make it an outdoor tea room. That'd be awesome, raised up, because that backyard does flood and we get major weather. That backyard sits in a hollow. I found a picture of you. Whoa. Yeah, I thought about, because one summer we got 9 inches of rain. I was sound asleep in here. I didn't even hear it. That blows me away that didn't wake me. Woke up in the morning, looked out my laundry room window. I'm like, why is my neighbor's light reflecting off my backyard? Opened the laundry room door and I was looking at a lake. Did not come into the laundry room, but it did come up 1 inch above slab in the back room. I'm like, oh, I got out the wet vat, sucked it up, went to work, came home, and it had receded in the backyard, and I put the dehumidifier and I ran it and just kept dumping the buckets. I dried that room out. I didn't touch nothing. I just sheetrocked it, just insulated it, everything. And because I used the dehumidifier, I waited for the floor to get dry, and then I took a bleach mop and bleach mopped the cement, and I just left everything alone. And the molding, had expanded out a little bit. It finally sucked back in. There was no mold, nothing. That was the best thing I could have done. $44K for the Slingshot. Wow, that's expensive. I just bought this one at the flea market. I've been looking for these, and a lady said she has some. She had to dig through her tubs, but she needed a man, and that's her man. But He likes to go naked, and she's got clothes, so I wonder how this is going to work out. He can borrow her clothes. Oh, you mean like me? That's funny. Gravity Rising is a regular on my channel, and she sent me a birthday gift from her state. She said, I thought I'd give you some perfume. You may not like it. I do like the smell. It's Outspoken by Fergie. This stuff smells pretty good. Yes, I'm a man, but I don't like cologne. Some perfumes are awesome. I had a good-looking woman come up to me in the store one day with a New York accent. She goes, I'm sorry, can I ask you what perfume is that? And I told her. She goes, oh, I love that smell. See, women like the smell of perfume too. And I don't know, a lot of women tell me they don't like the cologne men wear. I don't like it. Axe cologne sucks. Medium. Hi, Cheryl. I agree, Don. And because I'm a man, people say you shouldn't wear that. Why not? Nowhere does it tell me that I can't wear a certain scent. But if you want to wear skunk scent, get away from me. Tiny Mother, you're funny. Hey, I left a comment on your video with the moon. Shoot, Sarah, get on Discord. I'd love that. Women's clothing is cheaper. Hey, Colette, did you leave? Colette said that she was just listening. She might be in and out. It does. I bought some girl jeans the other day. They were on sale at the store. They're on the clearance. I'm like, really? These are not men's jeans. Is this, no, this isn't it. Where are they? I wore them this morning when I went to the I don't even know what brand these are. Time and True. These are girls' jeans, but they fit me and they're comfortable. And they were like $5. I'm sorry, with prices the way they are, I'm totally into wearing women's stuff because if it fits and looks good on me and it's cheaper, why not? I don't see that as a crime. I think there's bigger fish to fry in the world than what clothes Michael's wearing. This, I bought this at the flea market today. This sweet black lady, she come running around behind her table. She came right up to me. She goes, look. I said, what is that? She said, it's a rug. I said, no. I said, how much you want for it? She goes, $10. I said, that is cool. I'm not going to use it as a rug, though. What are you going to do with it? I said, I'm going to put it over the back of my futon. That's too nice to put my feet all over. I said, look, you knew I was going to buy it, didn't you? And she goes, yeah. I said, because you made cool stuff. She's the one that made, not this one. I think I put the other one in the tub. She made another one that I had on here, and I put it back in my tub. Absolutely, Don. Sarah, they have these things at Walmart. I bought a ton of these. They were $2.88 last year. They're like camisoles. I'm like, $2.88, really? And I wear them out to the flea. I wore my dress to the flea market today. I wear it because I have my jeans, and I had it. You cannot get a t-shirt for man. They're 10, 12 bucks now. But I wore this. I wore this to the flea market today. And a Native American woman that's my friend and sells me the beads and stuff, she always kisses me right on the cheek. She hugged me and she goes, "Michael, you are so damn beautiful." I said, "You're awesome." She's a neat lady. She's older and she is a beautiful soul. She gave me some of those thick beaded necklaces, and I bought a bunch from her too. Sarah, those camisoles are fun. This was $1 on the clearance lamp, or clearance rack. I might have to cut this tag as it's poking me. Cash tube? What? Did I miss something? Have I ever had a psychological evaluation? No. You gonna give it to me, bro? Are you a certified psychologist? Talk to me, sweet lips. Tell me what you know. What you gonna say? Cash tube? If you're a cash tube, then tube that cash right to me, boo. Hey, Mr. Russell, how are you? Oh, I'm King Mod. I'll throw his butt out of the room so fast his head'll spin, and he'll be picking his butt out of his head out of his butt cheeks. You got snow. I just talked to a friend of mine in Colorado, and she said they are in a drought in Denver. They got no snow this year. That's Sarah. Abnormal psychology. I was married to a wife of 14 years, and she had a psych degree. Let me tell you, she needed to be seen by a specialist. I don't put a lot of stock in secular psychology. Coupe de Ville, they think I've got mental problems. That's why you all are here, right? Because you're all loony, right? They're too stupid to read the room. We just turned 11,000 subs today. You don't get 11,000 subs if you're mentally ill. Well, now, hold on. Maybe you do. The guy that's got the triangle on his head and the shower running and goes, jump, jump, jump. The toilet seat guy. Now, I wouldn't say he's mentally ill. He's a different duck. The guy in the shower thinks he's God. Now, that's delusional. Your psychologist most likely as a psychologist. Molly, what state are you in? Yeah, I said that. Hold on, thinking that odd guy in diaper face, clown guy in diaper face. Man, I was watching the lunchroom at a school once years ago that I worked at. Kindergartners were in there, and I heard this one kid yell, "Shut up, you're a diaper eater," to another kid. I'm like, "A diaper eater?" The teachers were standing there. I said, "I'm sorry, that was funny." "Mike, that's wrong." I said, "But it was funny. I've never heard somebody call somebody a diaper eater. Come on, man. You can't let this stuff get to you." Yeah, he believes he's an Egyptian god. So you've seen him, Tiny? Yeah, because women in Denver suck. They're some of the rudest, nastiest women out there. And they think they're too good for us. And now they're complaining that nobody wants to date them. I wonder why. You get what you project, girls. Tell you what, if I was to go on a date, Ohio would be a good place to get a date. Montana, just based on my chat, I was in Montana. Montanans are generally pretty nice. Ohio people, I love them. I spent 6 months in Ohio, and a whole lot of people from Ohio, men and women, come into this room. I believe if I moved to Ohio, I could find myself a fairly decent girlfriend. Tiny mother, wow. You can't get any lower than that. That's interesting, Mr. Russell. I think Denver's under a curse. They got that weird governor that's married to his husband, and they're in a drought. They're having problems. I wonder why. Could it have anything to do with woke politics? Maybe. So, Cash Tube, where are you from? Oh, you're a psychologist, right? So you're going to be on YouTube doing a self-analysis of me. I don't have any signs of dementia. Do you even know what dementia is? By the way, I just saw your other comment, dude. CashTube, what are you in here for? What is your purpose? You don't belong here. Bye. You can't tell the truth. I don't deal with liars that throw them out in the room on their butt where they belong. Outside. This is for civilized adults, and you're not one of them. So, for somebody being a psychologist, you sure like to project. You should know what that means, Bry. Yeah, there you go, Sarah. Psychiatrists want to solicit medical diagnosis via trolling. Well put. I love some of the women and their responses, and they tickle me. They're like, man, these women are so quick. I love it. Bye. I had a black friend. She died a couple of years ago, sadly. When she'd deal with somebody that she didn't want to deal with, she'd say, bye. Okay, bye. Bye. Nope, bye. Just like that. I loved it. Because Stud Muffin probably lost his mom job. Yeah, it was. I rented from her for 3 months out here. She's the one that got me to come to Augusta. She smoked too hard. She never got a diagnosis, but I think she suffered emphysema. 2 weeks before she died, and I didn't know she was going to die. We were talking on the phone, and her lungs sounded like she had fluid in them. And then when somebody told me months after that she died, and I said, when? I said, I just talked to her 2 weeks before that. When I was renting, I said, Robin, those cigarettes are killing you. I'd wake up at 2 in the morning in my room and I hear her just coughing, heavy coughing. And she just said, well, Michael, that may be, but I got to have my cigarette. She had a voice like Della Reese. I loved Robin, but there was no convincing her. People say that I'm racist. Yeah, I'm going to rent from a black woman. Okay. And I did happen to date her in Denver many years prior to that. I didn't date her when I moved out here. There was no hanky-panky or any of that. Reason we didn't continue on is she had too much smoking and drinking and all that other stuff. You just can't rescue some people from their stuff, no matter how hard you try. I get 10 minutes to hear how lazy I am. Carol, you're funny. Cincinnati and Dayton. My moment of silence for unsubscribing to moronic idiots. I'm going to tell y'all a story about how stupid the corporate world is. So I worked at a company on Howard Street in downtown Spokane. It was a low-rise, turn-of-the-century building right by the railroad tracks that were very busy, elevated. I would see the Amtrak train come blasting. I'd be sitting and I could look out the second or third floor window? And the freight trains, but Amtrak blasted through there. Got a call one night. I worked for West Corporation. We handled the old AT&T Go phones. I did it for 5 months. What a stupid job. I'm good with people. Thank you for calling. For AT&T, for your wireless services, my name is Michael Nelson. To get started, I just need to verify that your number is 867-5309. Is that correct? Yes, it is, Mr. Nelson. Okay, Jennifer, which you prefer to be called? Jenny's okay. Well, good to meet you, Jenny. Let me open up your account and see what's going on. And while I'm opening up your account, can you tell me what you're calling about tonight? This woman told me, well, my text messaging isn't working. Of course, there's things we're required to say. And I said, I'm sorry, that can be really frustrating. Let me get into your account, see if we can find a seamless solution for you. This is a black woman. She told me I had a beautiful sounding voice. I said, well, thank you. And I said, what kind of a phone do you have? She told me. I said, okay, I see it's in the county. I said, when does your text messaging stop working? She goes, today. I said, I'm sorry. Let me see what we can find out. Michael, I got my chocolate nipples pierced today. I said, I'm sorry, what? I got my chocolate nipples pierced today. And I went, I mean, it shocked me that somebody said that. I went, I said, okay. I said, and then she just suddenly says, man, Michael, I need to get F so bad. And then she hung up. Some weeks went by, I got called into the office. This was one of the calls that was QA'd. Young lady, I didn't even know who she was. Hi, Mr. Nelson. I QA'd one of your calls. And let's just say you had a very interesting phone call one night. And I looked her right in the eye and said, let me guess, Miss Chocolate Nipples. You know, she's trying to maintain proper decorum. She goes, yes, I believe that's the one, Mr. Nelson. And she goes, you handled it very well, but I had to dock you because you snickered. And I looked her in the eye and I just grinned. I said, how am I not supposed to snicker at that? I'm sorry, ma'am. Somebody says I got my chocolate nipples pierced. You don't hear that every day. I said, I couldn't help it. Yeah, I went. like, whatever, do what you got to do, lady. I was polite to her, but I just thought, that's so stupid. You know, I didn't say, oh, I'd like a picture of that. Stupid. They expect us to be robots. A third of it was me talking too loud. Yeah, Mary, it's stupid. I mean, we're not allowed to be human. I handled it very well. I sniggered. I went, you know, just that. And I said, okay. I said, let me see what's going on. And then she just lost herself. I really need to get effed. And then she hung up. I'm like, what was that all about? I learned something at the call center, and we were told this in training after I brought it up. During our training, they sent us down to the floor. Our trainer was a young tech geek, very nice. You guys are going to go down to the floor. You're going to hook up with somebody. They're going to put one earpiece in your ear and you're going to listen in on their call. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to observe how they do it. So I got Zoe. Zoe was beautiful. And everybody liked Zoe. Zoe had probably the biggest chest of any woman I'd seen, and she was a knockout. And Zoe was very friendly. And then it dawned on me that there was this older woman that hung out with her who was very beautiful. And it dawned on me that she was a cougar. And at that time in Spokane, all of a sudden everybody was starting to try the lesbian thing. And I was shocked to find that Zoe was now involved with this older cougar woman that happened to work there. But I sat next to Zoe and I said, hey, how are you? She goes, I'm good, Mike. And she handed me one of the earbuds. I put it in my ear and we get a call. It's a black man. And while we're talking, you know, I can't talk. I can talk to her, but I'm not on the phone. And Zoe does the rigmarole and all that. And the guy's talking and I hear him say, well, you got a nice voice. Thank you. Did you power up your phone? I did. While she's going through the account and giving him instructions, I hear him start breathing. And I hear some moaning. And I looked at her and I mouthed the words, is he masturbating? And she went, and he was groaning in the whole 9 yards. Went upstairs to the meeting, back to our trainer, and I started telling other people before the trainer came back in the room, and they're like, are you serious? I said, yes, I'm serious. It's a heart attack. It was Zoe. And the guy come into the room. Anybody want to share an experience that they had that was interesting? Everybody in the room said, Mike has the floor. You got to hear this. Oh, thanks, guys. So I told the guy, he got that poker face on him, and he goes, yeah, one of the things you'll find out in the call centers, people get lonely, and they call and use this place like phone sex. You need to maintain decorum and be professional, but yeah, they're doing things while you're handling their phone problems. But you know what? This is America. Why is it like that here? Why is it there's so many people that have nobody? That the only intimacy they can get is through a phone conversation at a call center. That ought to disturb everybody in here. I had women hit on me on the phone. They don't even know what I look like. I don't know what they look like. And I got a masturbator one night. She was fingering the banjo, and I could hear, Michael, you really have a nice voice. Well, thank you, ma'am. And I'm looking through the CSP, which is their database, and I can hear, oh, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a problem. And I never made fun of them. But the truth is, they were doing that. And you don't let on that, you just be professional and carry on. It might just be a kink, Carol. You might be right. Well, thanks for the compliment on the necklace, Brian. That's right, Sarah. And I did. Fingering the banjo. Dear, 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 dear. Did you see my short? Did you see my short with the broom by the burn barrel? People thought that was so funny. Mike, you got that down there pretty low. I said, there was a reason I was doing that. It happens right here. We live in a disconnected world. Can I be honest? I used to go in Yahoo chat rooms. You remember when people say, can I PM you? Personal message you? I used to do that. This is not just an American problem. The Philippines, other countries. Can I see your cam? Sure. They turn on their cam, and you're talking to a 35-year-old woman, and she starts doing this. Okay, she's showing me everything. All right, this ought to be fun. People are lonely. Octavia, I love the chat rooms, but we used to call it the naughty box. I was a regular in CC 13, which was called Christian Chat 13. Well, there was a lot of non-Christian stuff that went on. Some crazy personas in there, but I met a lot of nice people. I met several school teachers in New England to Florida. Oh my gosh, it was funny. One night I went into a chat room because they had hundreds of different chat rooms. I see the chat, and people are saying, Melissa, can I see your cam? I'm like, what is going on? Everybody's into Melissa. So I type, Melissa, can I see your cam? Bing! A 30-year-old woman laying on her bed, no clothes on, with a tarantula walking around her boobs. I saw a beautiful woman. She was smoking a doobie, no shirt on. My gosh. People feel comfortable doing that. I mean, I've had my share of it. Not recently, but years ago. Yahoo shut down. Molly, I know the neighbors on either side of me and the one across the street. That's it. I'm going to say something, and I said this before within the last week. Our sexuality is very connected to our loneliness, believe me. When somebody's nice, when you're petting the dog too much and it starts humping your leg, it's the same thing. Somebody's talking to you, they're being nice, aka professional. They live alone. They think, oh my gosh, this person's nice to me. Maybe they like me. Man, I don't even know who you are or what you look like. I work with that girl. She doesn't like her meds. I found out in the chat room there were a lot of people on meds in there. Oh my gosh. But guess what? The internet is a giant strainer. Almost everybody ends up on there. Some people end up on here for the primary reason that just like somebody just said, they don't know their neighbors. We're trying to find a way to connect with people. We live vicariously through the internet. None of us have to smell each other. None of us have to live with each other. And sometimes there's an illusion with the internet world. Eye contact, hugs, touch. Was it, what was the movie? Was it Shawshank Redemption? The prisoner had this beautiful, I don't remember if she was the attorney or what, but she would come in and visit this prisoner. And the prisoner's reaching down and feeling himself because here's this beautiful woman talking to him. And it's easy for people to think, oh, what a pervert. No. It's called sexually frustrated. You got somebody being nice to you, and all your hormones go into overdrive. Hey, Thomas. What's the devil's playground? Octavia beat me to the punch. Denola. Oh, the casino love. Chrysler, yes, and people will throw their clothes off to somebody in another state that don't even know. On a cam. I often wondered when I was on the Yahoo, does the Yahoo database allow for the people that control it to look in on our cams and see what we're doing? They claim that your TV is watching you and your phone is watching you. Well, Rev, that could be good or bad. I smell good, but I'm sure not everybody does. Wow, truth. Now that's scary when that's going on a bus. I remember years ago in Duluth, I'd take the city bus, the Woodland bus, up to the Voyager Bus Company to go get my school bus. And I knew the driver and went up 2nd Avenue East. And he went by the bus shelter and he turned all the way around. I'd sit in the sideways facing seat facing the driver. I was the only one on that bus at that hour. So, oh my gosh. I said, what? He said, a guy in there with his pants down playing with himself in the bus shelter. I said, a little cold outside for that. Shoot, moon your TV, man. Somebody want to watch, give them the mood. Is that what it was, Molly? So you know what I'm talking about. Even me, though, putting myself out there, I haven't dated in so long that when a woman's making eye contact, talking to me and looking at me, I can have a false sense of thinking that she's interested. But I tell myself, she's just being professional. There's nothing there. But some people can't ascertain that. Guys are very gullible with that too. They think because a woman's being polite, nice to them that she wants him. And women are geared like that. Generally. Generally. And women can carry themselves in the way where they can be nice, but yet keep that on the appropriate. The ones that confuse me are the ones that are vivacious and flirtatious. You know, the ones, hey, Mike, if you're not interested in a guy, ladies, don't put your hand on him. I'm highly charged that way. You touch me, it's electricity to me. You should only touch a guy that you are interested in. Trapped on the inside. Good grief. Yes. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. Bus driver, I want you to stop. Well, I say that because if a woman is putting her hand on me, I take that as an overt interest. Women, you can't just hug men. Some women are very comfortable hugging all these guys. Women that give me full frontal hugs where I can feel bumps pushing into my chest. If you're not interested in me, that stuff there is just torture. Do not put your headlights into my chest. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because all of my hormones, all my sensory is just somebody just threw the switch at a 1920s amusement park and all the lights just came on. Mean what you say what you mean. Don't send signals that confuse us. Like if I come into the doctor's office, one thing, hey, Mr. Nelson, how are you? I'm good, ma'am. How are you? Oh, all right. It's been busy. I'm not going to take that as her hitting on me. Oh my gosh, Mike, your hair looks awesome. And she puts her hand on my shoulder. Now I'm thinking, okay, she's flirting now. And that's why women get into trouble because we're just reading the signs. Then you find out, oh, I just touch people. I just flirt. I don't want to go out with you. Well, then don't do that. Hello? Sarah, because we're wired different. We're very much women can hug and touch and not think anything of it. But if a woman is attractive, and if a woman's got a shirt like this on and there's cleavage showing, oh my gosh, hi Mike, and grabs me in that embracing perfumed hug, and I'm feeling all this, man, I'm done. Washed up, beached whale. Free Willy, baby. I need to get back in the water. Y'all women know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I mean. I can't handle that. If you're not interested in me, don't do that. We're very biological. What is a thrombosis, Ben? I've never heard of that. What am I wearing? I don't know. Can you tell me? Looks like a shirt to me. Oh, vein gets blocked. Wow. An aneurysm that doesn't burst. Wow. Aneurysms are horrible. So Neil, are you here for chat or are you here for judging my clothing? What's your motive, boss? Talk to me. What you looking for? Well, Sunil, why don't you go worry and tell somebody who cares? Because this isn't the place for it. Thank you, Danola. Nah, Sunil, but it doesn't matter to you because I really don't care what you think. You're not God. You didn't write the book on the rules. Bye. Scam call center. Oh, that was beautiful. Yes, Carol. So it's such a pleasure to talk to you tonight. We want to give you an inheritance because the lady doesn't believe her son is worthy of it, and you've been chosen. Just give me your social security number, your credit card number, and all your personal information, and we will send you $10 million plus a shareholder in a diamond Africa mine. Thank you, Carl. You know what? And thank you for that. Is it Kaisava or Kaisava? That's right, Molly. And I said that. I said women wear ball caps on backwards like gangsta dudes, jeans and hoodies. Nobody ever comments on that. I think if people pay attention to what I'm saying and how I carry myself, it's clear that I'm not a transvestite. It's clear that I'm not a gay man. I mean, this channel is unique, and I'm proud of that. It's authentic. As I've said before, it's sincera. That's the Greek word that means without wax. Back in the days that the New Testament was written, ladies would go to buy vessels made out of pottery. And they'd get them home and they'd pour the hot water into them and the pot would fall apart. And what shop owners are doing is somebody bump the pottery, knock it on the floor, shop owner take hot wax, run it in between the pieces, stick it together and put it back up for sale. So shop owners that were above board would have a sign that says sincera, without wax. And that's why Paul says, let your love be sincere, without wax. How many people have you met, men or women? I love you and I care about you. But when anybody says I love you and they got that but afterwards and a qualifier, run. We're supposed to be sincere. You don't say I love you unless you really, really mean it. That's right, Molly. That's right. They'll come in here ignited. Try to set the world on fire. You think that trolling is just for you? Well, I got news for you. Ignited, I like that. I think some people are bored in their room and they come in here and go, "Oh, I'm gonna smart off." They're like that Beavis. Hey Beavis, watch this. I'm gonna go on a video and be a butthole. Really? Do that. Do that. That'd be funny, man. That's right. World on fire. That'd be funny to have all of you guys, all of us go to the biggest flea market in the country. That would be awesome to do a live video there. I had to delete a comment. I posted this today. This guy sells art at the flea market, unusual stuff. And somebody said, "Oh, look, to KWEENS, Queens. He is actually a cross-dresser. And no, I don't have a interest in him. But he always gives me a hug and I give him a hug back. And you have to be comfortable with who you are. I mean, I can't fall in love with that guy. He's got a wife. He's married to a wife, and he started cross-dressing. I said, "How's your wife feel about that?" That's right, Carl. Tube chewer. Tube chewer. Now, where did Colette go? Tube chewer. Now, that's funny. They are caught up on labels. And I do this because I was always afraid to do things because I worried too much about what people think. And I started thinking, why don't you just be you and talk from your heart about God, your life, everything? And you know how many people come in, "That's not Christ-like what you're doing." Really? I talk more boldly about scripture than most YouTubers. And I just happen to wear a woman's shirt. Fart knocker. What's a fart knocker? Yes, Octavia. 100% Gen X. Hey, Misty. How are you? Misty Fox. I like that name. That's awesome. Tube chewer. You know what, Sarah? My pastor said Jesus didn't have long hair. And I said, well, didn't he take a Nazarite vow? I thought he did have long hair. My pastor says he didn't. Do we have any scripture to back that up? And we don't. We don't know what he looked like. That's why we have to be careful about paintings that are mostly white Anglo-Saxon Protestant renditions. I don't think Jesus looked like that. If you look at the paintings, he has too many Caucasian features. He would definitely have more Hebrew to him. Oh, not you, Carol. He was going to toss tube chewer out. because it's comfortable. Sometimes it makes me feel sexy and it's cheaper. I live in the South. It gets hot. You're going to be seeing me wearing a lot of this stuff. You're not going to see me wearing a t-shirt and stuff up to my neck in Georgia summers. Some of my shirts, I cut the neckline right out. People are like, why do you do that? Well, because it breathes. Got an eyelash floating around there somewhere. I think that people need to worry about the bigger issues. Truth Seeker, thank you for that. I take that as a compliment. And I'm proud of this channel, not in a pride way, but that it's become what it is. And it's not all me. This has been a draw for good people, men and women, and I love that. Yes, Russell, absolutely. Hello, Mr. Hinkle. Thank you, Handel. I appreciate that and welcome. Man, sometimes it's safer on the internet. I hate to say it. People say it's not safe on the internet. Sometimes it's safer. You get out there in the real world and watch the sparks fly. Hey, Diane, how are you? Well, thank you, mister. You're sweet. This is good, Jennifer. How are you doing? Metalworking, that's awesome. Thank you, Rev Nation. Well, thank you, Carol. I'm trying to keep up with all these comments. People feel safer in here because, you get out there in society and there's body language, and it's off-putting. Hey, Mercy, how are you? Misty, thanks for coming in. And let's rejoice. Amen. You be safe out there. Be careful. Come back. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, Ben. How do we deal with life when your plans are interrupted? That's what we need to talk about someday. I'm sorry for that, Ben. I think we all did, Jennifer. Yeah, Ben, it hits us men hard. We're made to produce. And when life throws a curveball, it sucks. But if you have been, God, that's the safety net. That's the safety net. Even if we haven't lost our ability to make a living, we still need the safety net. It's funny how we feel fairly smug when we can do things. Always be careful to thank God that He gave you the strength, the energy, the vision to do what you do, because you could lose it someday. So don't brag. Don't brag about it. Humble yourself and say, God, I thank you that you've given me my faculties for one more day. That's why we should take in the Word. Well, I don't have time to read the Word. Well, when you lose your sight, you're going to wish you had. Because now you're going to want it up here. That's why I appreciate, after last weekend, I said, Mike, return to simplicity. Stop being covetous. Enjoy your bath with Epsom salts. Enjoy your music. Enjoy that good song. Enjoy cleaning your house. Enjoy that you have a job. Enjoy your group. The simple things. We're not living in a world where they're arresting and throwing us into prison. Praise God. But we complain still. We got to stop. God, I don't like this that I'm going through, but I thank you for giving me these things. Jennifer, it's mine too. Look, they didn't call me Coke Bottle Nelson for no reason. Got these little floating membranes in my eyes. I can see, but it's irritating every so often. See some planet go, what the heck was that? You know, and Octavia's right. Ben, I hope you're not offended by that. Sometimes God has to move his hand against the idol we set up in our own heart. That idol's the big I and our agenda. Oh, I'm guilty. Oh my gosh, am I guilty? I've said it and I'll say it again. It's easy to trust the Lord as Savior. You know, when you pray the sinner's prayer and you ask Christ to come into your life and be your Lord and Savior, it's almost, if we're to put amplification and de-amplification. So when you first get saved, I trust you as my Lord and Savior. Oh God, forgive me of my sins. We want that. But we don't emphasize the Lord part. And God is sovereign. He wants us to taste and see that he's good. But he lets us run around the big wide end of the funnel. But as we mature that funnel end, we start going down and getting to that little, the end spout. He's trying to conform us into his image. And man, are we rebels. We were taught to be rebels, Ben. We were taught, go get a job, do this, be successful. And God says, well, yeah, but. Jeremiah talks about the potter. She had the privilege as a kid. Some of you women and men did too. Remember the 70s when people did the pottery and they had that little potter's wheel? You could buy a potter's wheel. Some people had a kiln. And they'd sit there and hold that little foot pedal and spin that wheel and fashion that clay. We don't like to admit it, but that's what God's doing to us. You think you're in control, but you're on this potter's wheel, and God says, oh, this is going to hurt, Michael. And you're going, what do you mean it's going to hurt? Just hold still. No, God, I got to do it, Michael. Got to get that rebellion out of you. Jennifer, thank you for coming in. And I'm sorry, we need to pray for you. Lord, we pray for Jennifer that you'd remove these sleeping issues from her and help give her a good night's sleep. We know that sleep is so important to face the day. Please help Jennifer to get a true night's rest and be with her in Jesus' name. Amen. Jennifer, come back and thank you. And we need to, Jennifer. We got to. Suffering sucks. Anybody that likes it's a sadist. That's interesting, Ben. God's sovereignty. As we mature in Christ, God makes it known that He is Lord. When you first become a Christian, sometimes God gives you a pretty long leash. But as the years go by, the leash gets shorter and shorter. And one day you realize you're a choker collar, and God kind of goes, God, why are you doing this? Well, because you're growing in Christ. That's why. And if I let you run on a 20-foot chain, you're too stupid and you're going to run and run and run and go, "Ah!" and choke yourself. That's all part of His plan. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Did you hear that, folks? He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. He will interrupt your plans. You can have the best laid plans and they explode in your face and go down in flames. Well, God, I prayed about it. You didn't pray about it. You prayed that it would be your will and it would be God's will that your will be accomplished. Got to be careful about that one. Hey, Lupe, how are you? And thank you. And I appreciate you guys because we're not just here for chat. We're all here for a word from God. And that's huge. Some of us may not look like what we think a Christian ought to look like. But God knows this more than any of us. You know why I know that? The Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? You can't even know your own heart. You cannot even know your own heart. Baby Ghosty, I want you to rely on God. And I want you to remember that we, not just me, we need you to stay living. You are alive for a reason. I know you're going through hard stuff. Nothing is worth taking your life for. Oh, I don't want no more trying. I want you to get up every day and say, no matter what happens today, I choose life. If you got to go in your own car and shut the door and yell your head off, do it. But don't entertain what you entertained weeks ago. Greater is he who is in you. Remember that. Hello, Ideal. Lupe, where'd you get those emojis? I'm not condemning you, baby ghosty. We all blow it. I just want to ensure that you don't go there again. We praying for you, and we care as much as we can through the internet. Hey, maybe we should start a cult. We'll all go buy a box of Pampers and wrap it around our head like Ilhan Omar. We say we're all followers, not of Ilhan, but of some crazy clown. We'll sit at bus stops and outside airports with a diaper wrapped around our head and preach the Bible to everybody and go, what? Who are these people? They're the diapered saints for Jesus Club. Anybody remember hearing about Hare Krishnas in the 60s and the 70s? The flower children? They were at the airports preaching some weird stuff, man. Coop, I crack myself up sometimes. I have to. It's a survival technique. Shoot, Ben, I still got issues. Yeah, there you go. Carol. It's like if you stub your toe, say, you know how I can make you not think about your stubbed toe? What? I'll hit your hand with a hammer. And they're like, Mike, shut up. If I put a diaper on my head, then we go, well, what's this? And not be looking at this. Hey, Carol, you're onto something. Maybe I could have a live ferret sit down on my head and wrap itself around the top of my head like a tiara. And everybody go, Mike, what's with the ferret on your head? What, you don't like my shirt? We rant every night. I think it'd be funny if I came in here in the morning, my hair was all the way down to here. And I just say, yeah, that mane and tail is working wonders. Chia! All new Chia shampoo. You'll see results in 24 hours or your money back. Come out looking like one of those hamburger things. Remember those things that had hair all the way around them? They look like pom-poms on legs. Oh, monetization's such a war. I can't even figure it out, so I don't. Plus, Google gets 40%. No thanks. I'm not tithing to them. Pug Smuggy. That's cute. Yeah, Octavia, I understand people having an attachment to a pet. You'll hear me talk a lot about the imbalance that people have towards pets, and I'm disturbed by that. When I was a kid, I had a cat that I liked, and when it died, I cried. Ben, thanks for coming in. I hope you'll come back and hang in there. And I pray that God helps you through all this. Carol, Mooney's knock on the plane doors. Uh, Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been through Elizabethtown. No, that's Kentucky. I've been through Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville. Wait a minute. I went through Knoxville on 40, and then I cut down into North Carolina to come here. 2019. I stayed just a small town. I can't remember the name of it. Outside Knoxville at a Super 8. It's really 9 o'clock. It's funny, you can tell you're getting older when you don't stay up till midnight anymore. Man, when I was in my 20s, I burned the midnight oil. Now the midnight oil burns me. I gotta look. No, I didn't fall asleep. I was just thinking for a minute. I gotta look in Tennessee where I stayed. It was the last night on the road, or last night on the way out to Georgia, that I stayed at a motel. Tennessee. Tennessee Ernie Ford. Knoxville. I don't remember what the name of it was. Ball camp. Well, I don't remember what it might have been. Kingston. I just remember it was Super 8 right off the interstate. Maps are cool, Octavia. I agree. Carol, thanks for coming in. And you have a good evening and be safe. So you know what I'm talking about? If I remember, it was blue. The building was blue. Was it a Super 8? Yeah, it was blue, though. It wasn't the Super 8 colors. It seems like it was a blue cinder block building, wasn't it? It was very clean. An India man ran it. Sold my soul to the company store. Tennessee Ernie Ford. I think it's awesome. I'm in the part of the country where we got all the good people in here. Tennessee, Ohio, New Hampshire, Maine. And we got Colette from New Zealand. Galahar. You know what? That Galahar sounds very, very familiar. What, you know? Ah, that's funny. 16 Tons was the title. I did an AI of my boss singing that. Really? That'd be awesome, Octavia. Man, I remember years ago I made my son laugh when he was little. I would change the words of song and I said, "Have a holly jolly trolley," and he lost it. I want the trolley from Mr. Rogers. Ding ding. That was so cool. Crocodile Dundee. Shoot, wouldn't that be nice? My slush fund. Mr. Rogers was good, clean. He was a man of integrity the entire life. No sleaze on him ever. And people, we all made fun of him until we grew up. He was solid. No, I don't get paid on this. I have a Cash App. It's Pacific Ocean Asia 77. Pacific Ocean Asia, all one word, 77. That's my Cash App if people feel inclined. But no, I don't charge for memberships. I haven't monetized it, so it isn't littered with ads. But folks, the bed is calling my name. You can't hear it. When the bed talks, only the one that's calling can hear it. Say, Mike. Yes, bed. Michael. No, I don't, Carl. They charge $350 a year for the one by me. That's too much. If I was rolling into money, then I would do it. Sir, get on Discord. 77 Titanic 77. I'm getting horizontal. Coupe de Ville has just turned his vehicle in for the night. Strawberry shortcake. Oh my gosh, I remember that. All right, folks, thank you for coming. Have a good evening and be safe. Oh, Titanic. No, 77 Titanic 77. 77 Titanic 77 is my Discord. Send a friend request and tell me who you are. Molly, have a good one. Truth Seeker, Danola, Sarah, everybody that I might have missed. Hang in there.